So one of the things that I'm going to share in this demo is how our business systems analyst and SOP designer, Magnus, is able to create SOPs on how to handle online leads versus walk-in customers. So let's start to go through that right now. So here's Magnus, who is our systems analyst as well as SOP designer. And like all of our agents, we've already pre-organized the specific plugins that they'll need in order to be able to do their job. So in this instance, it's Simple Calculator, Interactive Canvas, Mermaid Diagram, and Perplexity Search. So what was the question that we asked? It's what's the best approach to design a systematic process for handling online inquiries versus traditional walk-in customers? And as you've noticed, one of the things that our system does is it collaborates with you. It starts to ask questions. So it's asking things like, what's your current average response time for online inquiries? What systems or tools do you currently use? What are your current pain points, etc.? And then it also has what it's calling moments of impact. So thought-provoking questions to challenge assumptions to design the most effective system. So what orthodoxies exist in your current customer handling process that might be worth challenging? So the traditional belief that walk-in customers should always take priority as an example. So our system's also challenging thinking in order to get not only the right process, but to really start to understand, are we creating the right scenarios, the right situations, the right processes within our staff as part of our training based on things that actually matter. So what I've done though is I've just indicated this is a demo. So let's just proceed so that we can highlight. So it starts by creating a comprehensive systems blueprint. Starts with digital channel management. So everything from when was the online inquiry received, it starts to get into breaking it down into different classifications and then assigned to different available agents, as well as starting to work in terms of what's the customer response. So part of the walk-in management, very similar. What's the priority assessment? How are you creating the queue based on appointments versus walk-ins? And starting to move from there. So then it looks at cross-channel synchronization. So what's the real-time status updates across all of the channels? Is there a unified customer history that you can tap into? And what's also happening when it comes down to resource allocation, dynamic staff assignment, peak time prediction, automated workload balancing. And part of what it's generating here is also performance metrics and KPIs. So digital channel metrics as well as walk-in metrics. And then it gets into what's the technology stack integration, core systems, CRM integration, what's the communications hub, what's happening in terms of standard operating procedures. So getting that set up for online inquiry handling, walk-in management. And then it starts to organize staff training and development. So what's the competency framework in terms of technical skills, soft skills? And at this point, as always, it's going to give additional options. What can we do in terms of what's our deep dive into digital, walk-in excellence, integrated focus, or you could ask it to do other things. I'm asking it to proceed with the deep dive into digital and walk-in excellence. So now it starts to go through and it starts to highlight in this instance, an advanced digital inquiry management system, which it's calling DIMS. So this is now tapping into other AI opportunities that we have, for instance, within our system. So being able to use AI to create a smart intake system. So what's the intent recognition, priority scoring algorithms, and also establishing what is the appropriate response time matrix. Goes into that in terms of starting to create a automated response framework. It starts to also indicate how to basically manage the workload distribution here. For walk-in, it starts to create a smart physical service management system. What are the different components attached into that? Whether or not you have smart check-in kiosks or other queue intelligence that can be incorporated. Gets into integration. So what's now happening when it comes down to cross-channel harmony? And this is basically indicating what you need to be able to do to make all of these things happen. So one of the things that it starts to ask is any digital enhancement of these areas, physical optimization and analytics deep dive. That's what I chose for it to go through next. So now it starts to go through multi-channel performance analytics. So it's indicating what are the data layers, what's the analytics engine, what's the insight generation. So from this, what are customer experience metrics that we're going to focus on? And what are operational efficiency metrics? What are a predictive analytics engine? And what's great about all of this is as you start to go through, you can now get into examining, for instance, advanced forecasting and resource optimization. And if your head's spinning a little bit, don't let that worry you because it will actually start to walk you through what you need to do. So in this instance, it's starting to create what are the different multi-dimension prediction modules, and it's getting into algorithmic approaches, model performance metrics. Now, not everybody in your staff's going to be able to work at this level, but this is now where you can start to go through, have it collaborate with key people in your dealership in terms of how to actually get this implemented. So one of the things that I did was when you start to get into model optimization, so explored a detailed model configuration and tuning. So I literally had the system start to create this. So as you can see, you're getting into some pretty heavy algorithm and other operational systems design. And this is where, again, I just keep saying explore more detailed configuration. And it, as the system, is starting to get all of this set up. And this is the advantage of starting to tap into AI. It's not just answering key components, it's being able to use AI to help you, as you can see when I ask, show how can we create and implement the system. So now it goes through, here's the system, and it starts to create everything from Gantt charts to your system checklist to what are the core systems integrations, getting into detailed model development, so data pipeline setup, model training infrastructure, API development, all of this right through to a deployment strategy, getting into training and rollout, etc. So pretty amazing in terms of being able to ask really simple things, but also getting into things as detailed as this.